The seed idea of, I think, the Startup Champions Network actually came out of an effort called the Startup America Partnership, which was actually an effort initiated through the White House that tried to bring the private sector, along with some efforts inside the White House, to sort of up America's startup game. When the Startup America Partnership effort ended, I think in about 2013, there was a desire for that group to stay together, to continue to meet, to continue to connect. The core group of those Startup America Partnership state champions formed what became the founding group, the Startup Champions Network.
10 years ago, we weren't anything. Like, it was 20 people sitting in a room kind of going, we think this is important. And now, like, if you go to any economic development conference, ecosystem building is like the top, it's the thing. And like, it was not that way. I mean, there was nobody talking about it 15 years ago. So the idea that like, this is now a mainstream, like global thing, like the number of people that were impactful is, hundreds, but like probably 50 to 75% of them are members of SCN or were at some point. It's like, that's amazing.
The proudest thing, I think, is, in those early days, we didn't knock it out of the park. We were still trying to find our way, establish a new brand. We really relied on the members who joined us in that transition to weigh in on it. Like, what do you need? What do you see? What are our blind spots? What are we missing? What do you want ecosystem building for entrepreneurship to be? And, it took us a couple of years. As we say, there's the storming periods and the norming periods. And after 10 years, I think SCN has kind of come out of that activity as probably one of the most engaging organizations around entrepreneurship that I've ever been a part of.
To me, the greatest value of being part of SCN is that it is such a grassroots-driven organization and that people genuinely show up to help each other. I find that the people who show up for SCN are people who genuinely want to show up because they can't get this kind of information and relationships and community anywhere else. So it's all about the people and having the chance to convene with those people twice a year.
I attended as a new member, and I remember this overwhelming feeling of, oh my God, there's all these people that are like me that exist.
Get to find people who have the same struggles, the same difficulties, and the same challenges that you do, but you learn from them. And it just makes the work that we do feel a whole lot less lonely. A lot of times we're kind of some of the only people in our communities doing this really, really important work. And when you go to a Startup Champions Network, you really see the people that are doing this in their communities.
SCN for me has always been that place where I realize that there's a lot of other people that do this work. And I just have never found a group that's quite as supportive. And so that's the main reason why I come to almost every summit.
For an ecosystem builder, being able to find other people and other communities that are willing to open their networks up and share their information, I think you just can't replace that.
Startup Champions Network has always been one of the most inspiring groups of people that are supporters of entrepreneurs everywhere. And with this idea that no matter where you come from, whatever walk of life you come from, this group of people is there to champion you. Is just very inspiring.
Being able to be in an environment of other folks who are in that same position where we can just come and be, we can share our wins, our challenges, our lives, how we are navigating this work as human beings, what we need, what we are experiencing, what we're seeing. Being able to have a safe place to share those things and to learn from other people is so valuable. And that's why I keep coming back.
I think the one thing I love about SCN is, on the one hand, it's like a reunion because there's a lot of us that have been doing this for years and years. And so it is like the one time we can actually get together, post-COVID in person. I think that the other half of it is that I get to meet all these new people because, again, it's an emerging field. And so whether you have turnover at like the local or the state or the academic level, or you have a nonprofit or a for-profit, I think what excites me the most is that we have such an intimate organization that I'm always meeting like 5 or 10 new people
I became the type of ecosystem builder I am because of SCN. I met SCN in 2018, and that was my first experience. I'm sitting at the TomTom Festival right now, and that's where I got to know some of the bigger players within SCN who were highly impactful in my life.
The greatest value that SCN offers is its membership. And especially now that it has grown in complexity and diversity and regions and cities and rural areas, etc., that the diversity of perspectives on what this work is and how this work gets done, I think has expanded exponentially over time.
SCN's given me a national platform. I've done my work in the local committee, but being able to be part of a national platform that connects with peers, I've learned a lot. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of engagement and models that some of our members are doing that I've brought into my local ecosystem. So I'm proud that we've been able to build this community and build this tribe where everyone sort of sees where they fit in, and that they contribute, share knowledge, and like to get to know each other as we travel the country and visit these different local ecosystems.
I think it's important that ecosystem builders join SCN because it really gives them resources and connectivity, both for their own personal growth and development, so they can meet other people across the country doing the same thing as them.
You meet so many amazing people that are doing the same work, can empathize with what you're doing, and they can give you a different perspective.
There's nowhere else in what we do where I feel like everyone has each other's back in this way.
You should join SCN because it's family.
This is the place for you. Startup Champions is the network for you to jump into.